Ma mane, bhayo bhoni mane. I also have a gift from our state, from all our state, Odisha. You may notice it is the people who come from India are all of us who are standing, who just come now from India. And this is, as you know, the tricolour, the orange, that should be white and green, of the Republic of India. And the handloom is done. Are any of you from Ganjam originally? Put up your hands.
I'm born there.
Okay. Some of you originally, okay, but I was also from Ganjam. I was born in Karachi. Now, so a lot of you are from Ganjam, a few generations ago, right? Well, this is woven in the city. Traditionally, it's woven in the city of Brahmapur, which you all know.
Brahmapur.
Now Brahmapur, olden days Brahmapur. All right?
Yes.
So it's from Brahmapur. So you people from Ganjam should know. Okay?
Sir, who Brahmapur?
Wala. Well, here's something from Brahmapur.
Yeah.
That's for you, Mark. You namaskar. Where is Mr. Naik? Where is
Mr. Naik here. Come on. No, so that's a Shama. Shama is the secretary. Shama is
This
secretary.
is for Sri Brahma Naik, Brahma Babu, Braja Babu, Sri Braja Mishra. And it is again the identical Angavastram, again woven in Bharat. All right? Where is Mr. Let me introduce again my colleagues, Honorable Minister of Textiles and Handloom of the Government of Odisha, and also the Minister of Planning and Coordination. She is Usha Devi. She comes from Chikati in Ganjam. She's married into Chikati in Ganjam. And she, you know, Chikati is in Ganjam district, both in the old Ganjam and in the new Ganjam, smaller Ganjam. Is my right? She's from Ganjam district. And of course, she's a minister for the whole Odisha. That is her job, her duty, as you all know. And next to her is the Minister of State for Tribal Affairs, for Scheduled Castes, Scheduled Tribes, for minorities, etc. He has a senior minister, Mr. Imrika, who's the cabinet minister, but he holds independent charge for fisheries, animal husbandry, for information technology, which is IT, which should be in the hands of the young person. And next to him is the young director, who's Mrs. Padi. She specializes in the national. She's the director who looks after the National Rural Livelihood Mission, which is very important for the whole of India, but she looks after Odisha, where it is equally important, being a part of India. Next to her is Mrs. Ahuja, Srimati Ahuja. She is the secretary of not only textiles and handlooms, which is the portfolio of Usha Devi ji, who's next to me, Srimati Usha Devi. She is also the secretary for women and child welfare. Next to her is Mr. Verma, who is the secretary in charge of, he's the principal secretary? He's the principal secretary, he's a very senior officer who's in charge of school and mass education. The education of our children, boys and girls in Odisha. Next to him is standing Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister, who's a very senior officer, Mr. Pari. He too happens to be in the exam. Next to him is the Private Secretary, Mr. Mandian. They're all IAS, meaning the Indian Administrative Service, including the Private Secretary, who happens to be Private Secretary for Delegation of Guidance to the Chief Minister, to age anything. You understand what I'm saying? So now you have introduced before many of the stars of the here in the United Kingdom, the UK, who happen to be either descendants of Korea, but anyway, they're part of the heart, but I'm sure always be in Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much. You have done my job.
Well, I'm going to do some of the job. You're another way, that's what you do your job. ये नीचे रख दो. It has to go that side. It's a gift. Give it to Michelle. You look after. Where is the book? All the books.
Right, okay.
I'm sure you look at the plate. All the three plates. The main form. The Wedgwood. That's very expensive. Wedgwood plates are very expensive.
Number
The
4.
books are 1 books. For this time.
Microphone thing.
Diamond the whole week of it is celebration. Continue.
I will hand out my microphone to our Chief Minister, Mr. Naveen Pattnaik, for his speech.
पिला माने जियो माने एवं प्रिय भाइयों भोनी माने माँ माने बंधु माने आपन माने को समस्तों को मोर नमस्कार और मोर शुभेच्छा आपन माने को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देवची आज ये सुंदर कार्यक्रम पाए धन्यवाद. Now, if you will permit me, I'll speak in English.
Yes.
After मुझे क्षमा करो, वो टिके English में कोई. Well, I'm delighted that all of you have received me, particularly Dr. Mishra, Mr. Braja,
And our
Mr. Braja Naik,
Secretary,
and Mr. Shyam Mahapatra, and Mr. Shyam Patra, received me so graciously, invited me to this lovely place, which is obviously a cozy place where most of you sometimes foregather and chat about what's happening in Odisha and what's happening in your lives in the United Kingdom here. I'm so grateful for your beautiful gifts, so beautifully thought out by the distinguished Surias here. I mean, you've given me 3 lovely books about work in England, in the United Kingdom, which all of you been involved in very distinguished professions. Here in England, UK, I should say. Also, so the books have to do with that. We all know that the 1 week celebration, more than that, is coming up. I think it's on the 1st to 2nd of June. To commemorate Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. We all go to the last Queen who celebrated this, was Queen Victoria, and that was many years ago. Of course, times have changed. Queen Victoria was not only Queen of England, she was Empress of India. Today's Queen, I think, is her grandson, granddaughter, I think, maybe wrong by generation. Her father was the last Emperor of India. Then came our independence in 1947. All of you know that since then, the tricolour was flown on a summer's night, and India became independent. Pandit Nehru made a beautiful speech, but the words I think were like, when the world sleeps, India wakes to freedom. So that's your old country, this is your present country. The Queen has had a very distinguished career. And this is, I think, 65 years since she's been the Queen. 60. So that means people like me who are 65 were 5 years old when she ascended the throne. She's been Law Queen for 60 years.
Yes,
60 years. It is her time. And Queen Victoria was the last sovereign of UK and the British Empire. The last queen, the last empress to celebrate 60 years of rule, of a diamond jubilee. So it's a great week for the United Kingdom. Everyone should be celebrating and will be celebrating, I'm sure. And when you come to our country, we too celebrate the Rashtrapati of India. We celebrate the Republic of India. The histories are all connected to each other. May I speak now a little bit of your state, which you all hail from, your state, my state, our state, a state called Odisha. All of you, I think, know something of my late father, the late Biju Pattnaik, who always had a great dream for his state, for his people. Also was involved in the independence struggle. He went to jail for the independence of India. He was a pilot during the Second World War, literally flying from Leningrad in Soviet Russia down to Shanghai. At that time, nationalist China that were fighting the war against the Allies, the three Allies, Japan, Germany, and Italy, and he being a subject of the British Empire, actually flying and working for the Empire of the United Kingdom. When he died, it was rare in India. There were several flags on his body. Of course, they were removed in the fire, the fire, like Puri and Sarvada. There was actually first the lowest that covered his body was that of the Republic of India. I think there was a British flag because he was given a decoration for his efforts during the war. There was a flag of Indonesia, of course, who's involved in the freedom struggle of Indonesia. I'm sure some of you know that. I want to read the history. And was it the flag? There was another flag. I think it was Nepal. Not Burma, it was Nepal. I think it was Nepal who he helped them with their freedom. You know, when the king was placed on the throne and he's taken out of the clutches of the oligarchy, the Rana oligarchy, democracy brought to Nepal. He always loved adventure, but it was always an adventure for freedom. You're lucky that you happen to be in a country which is considered the mother of our country. Many independence fighters, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel of the Republic of India, Dr. Ambedkar came to learn, to be educated here as lawyers and experts in law, the Constitution, and they brought that back. And they became the leaders of the freedom movement in your country, India. Well, that's enough of a history lesson. Let me talk about Odisha. In the 12 years that I've been the CM, I had the privilege and honor of being the CM of the people of my state. I've been elected. They've given me their Ashirwad 3 times, being Chief Minister twice. And for you to be a Union Cabinet Minister of the Government of India, and once before that, after my father's demise, as the MP from his constituency at the time, Aska, in the Punjab district. In that time, I'll give you a brief history of what we've been trying to do in Odisha. Firstly, we have a lot of poor people in Odisha. I'd also seen the super cyclone. I visited all the districts at the time of the super cyclone, which hit, in the most ghastly way our state in October of 1999. I wasn't the CM then, I was the Union Minister, Central Minister. So I thought after seeing all this and then the people giving their blessings in 2000 to us for the first time, I think we should tackle poverty. Because there is, sadly, your state is a very beautiful state, but beauty often camouflages, sometimes camouflages poverty, particularly in the beauty of the forested areas of Odisha, the tribal areas of your state, of our state. So we got on with the business in a kind of modest way, without publicity, no media shidya. We got with a job of women empowerment, both social and economic empowerment of women. There was a very enlightened officer in the Chief Minister's office at the time, he was media. Mission Shakti, we called it. We started in a modest way in 2001, I think. Now it's 2012. Right? That's 11 years later. And now how many women are involved in that operation? So 5 million women. Our state, Odisha, has a population of 41 million. And there are 5 million women involved in women's self-help groups for the social and economic development. That's not only by the government, our government, the state government, but also the central government has given us some help, natural, enlightened NGOs. NGOs who have a great heart for the poor and for women. They've helped, and of course, society in general, people like you. And the media have done that bit for you. We've done certain publicity. I would like to be generous about everyone. No, I prefer, do you mind if I stand? Do you mind? No, thank you, that's sweet of you. They're very comfortable in the back. So he very sweetly, the young gentleman said, why don't you sit down and very kind of tell an older person with this one balcony. Balcony, I think, is strong enough, right? Yes. Okay, he's the young man's there after the balcony. And the support base. So in which district are your family from? Nagar. Undivided Puri, now the district of Nagar. They're quite a tough lot. Physically and really. I think I have confidence in the support. Would you got a cushion? Okay. Where were we now? Oh, I should speak up. All right. Too low there. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Did anyone hear what I was saying before? Yes. Are you quite sure? Yes. You don't have to be polite. I think you're bored already. Anyway, we've done a lot of things. We've done for anti-poverty, for tribal persons. We've done a lot for them. I'm not going to give you a long list, but things are looking up. It's 20% up in GDP. And researchers have said that longevity has not only gone up of the comparatively better off people of the coast, it's also gone up longevity by several years of people in our tribal areas. And we've got schemes, the government is providing, state government, Odisha government is providing funds for 2 rupees rice a kilo, 25 kg a month to all the people below poverty line. All the people below poverty line, and then the KBK districts, which are the undivided districts of Kalahandi, Bolangir and Koraput, which are very poor, they're also doing it there. Some districts like Kondhamal and Gajpati are also very poor. We're doing other state programs which are being financed by the state government, the Odisha government, for Kondhamal and Gajpati districts. Now I'm not going to give a long list. You got the general idea, right? You know that Paradeep was inspired by Biju Babu, the port of Paradeep. Now we've got a second port, which was his vision, which I think I inaugurated when 6 months ago, 5 months ago. Now this port, the second port of Dhamra, is on the coastline of Bhadrak district, undivided Balasore district, Baleshwar district. And the day I inaugurated it, which was 6 months ago, there was a ship that had just come in. It carries cargo of 150,000 tons. It's a proper Cape-sized vessel parked on this port on the coast of Odisha in the Republic of India. It's a great, important port, which is functioning now. So, then there are some great steel plants coming up. There's one that's coming up in Jagatsinghpur, right? Jajpur. It's a Tisco plant. It's going to be about 6 million tons a year. When we took over in 2000, the total production of steel was not even 2 million tons from the old government plant, the Union government plant of Rourkela, the Rourkela steel plant. Today the steel production in our state is how much? 8 million tons already, and these new plants, the POSCO plant, which is in fact looking optimistic, and Tisco one will produce how much? So when they're finally completed, that will be 14 million tons. There's some other private enterprise ones which are already in production, steel, those what's it called? How much are they producing?
So they are producing right now about 3 million tons.
3 million tons. So it's toting up to much more production. So that means jobs for our young people, both direct and indirect, for Odias and other young people, other people, and both direct jobs and indirect jobs. You know what I mean, all of you. And also a lot of revenue which is required for the anti-poverty, pro-poor programs in Odisha. A lot of revenue is required. And so we give revenue not only to the state government through taxes, but also to the central government. Correct me when I'm wrong. And anything else I can quickly highlight about our Odisha? Come on, Mr. Pari, be quick. Oh yeah, don't forget the farmers. And farming, about 80%, 75% of the state's population, as you know, is agriculture or related to farming. So in fact, this year, Odisha got the #1 prize from the government of India for horticulture. Am I right? And last year, which is 2011, we got the best prize for agriculture. So that's very important. That's doing well. And as far as irrigation, which is of course the most important thing, the most important input, water for farming, you all know that, from your garden. What's happening in irrigation? The deep borewell scheme that irrigates about 5,000 acres, one deep borewell, and the mega lift schemes, they irrigate themselves, they give land. We have a Pani Panchayat program for farmers, which was started in the early time of, I think, Mr. Pattnaik, about 10 years ago. So all these things are in shape, but we have to do better, and we're at it. So you can see from the record, Odisha has been well at all that. IT, information technology, the young man there. So, Koraput, in tribal Odisha. In information technology, big companies have come in, IT companies like, in our time, like TCS, that's Tata Consultancy Service, that's probably a premier state-of-the-art companies, the Tata one, that's come in our time. Infosys was before our time, started before our time, but it's going strong. You know about Infosys, all your kids were into tech savvy life.
Mindtree, sir.
Mindtree. He's a well-known name in IT in the subcontinent. In fact, in the Republic of India and many parts of the world. And
Can you hear something about health, sir?
yeah, sure. Oh, media is there too. Our friends in the media. Oh, yes. Of course you can. You know, we had a very bad record, Odisha. I'm really at the, let's say, before the turn of the century, you know, in the end of the last century. It's been improving steadily. We had a very bad record for infant mortality and for maternal mortality. We brought in a scheme a few months ago, right? How long ago?
September last year.
September last year. It's called the Mamata scheme. It's for women below the poverty line. So they don't have, at the time of the expectancy of a baby and after that, when the child is born. So that women should be toiling in the fields under a boiling sun, a relentless sun, or toiling or doing work during the huge monsoon rains in your state. The monsoon, the eastern monsoon, a very powerful monsoon with lightning and rainfall, and as you know, Dr. Mishra, for your generosity, said the flood. So women shouldn't toil. Women who toil in those fields and do other menial tasks and hard labor tasks at the time of the birth of your child. We have a program called the Mamata scheme. It's 5,000 rupees. It's given in 4 installments, very sensibly, medically, for the expectant mother before her child is born and also after her child is born. It's 6 months before and 6 months after. And it's given in 4 installments and added to it sensible things like inoculation for the baby, what the mother should eat before that, her diet chart, what her child's diet chart will, and her chart should be, you know, lactating mothers, all the ladies who've had babies know that. So you can understand, apamane, jananchi, ma mane, mukon, apala sarkar will say, what we are trying to do. I mean, now we can move from it. I've given you one example. And therefore there's a substantial improvement in infant mortality rates and maternal mortality rates. Also for the girls, for all the tribal girls, up to standard 10s. All girls in the whole of Odisha, all girls in government schools and tribal schools and what? All girls up to standard 10 are getting free bicycles from the Odisha government. Also the children up to primary standards, all children are getting 4 uniforms from the state government. That is an idea. I'm not going to go on with a long list. I'm just giving you an idea of what's happening in Odisha in the commercial sector, in the development sector, in the infrastructure sector. Examples, so it comes clearly out, anecdotal of and health, education, and irrigation and agriculture. Just, and of course, in the tribal areas, because we are proud in Odisha, our government is proud, that a quarter of our population, 24.6% of Odisha's population, is tribal people. And our state has the maximum amount of tribes than any other state in India. We have 62 tribes, and we are very proud that we are a state which has the maximum amount of tribes in India. That's a tremendous pride to us, as it should be to all of you. We are our coastal people, we are our central people, we are proud of all our people. I just wanted to mention every person in Odisha who's from Odisha, who's in Odisha, and wherever they live in the world, we are proud of them. You have done so well. You or your parents or grandparents have come from that far-off land called Odisha, and you come here and you've done so well. We're all so proud of you. I'm sure. So are the British people. You're also British people. You have pals there.
No, I'm not.
She didn't infer. I'm sure you all have a mixture, as every nationality who's come to London town, right? Got it? With hopes. They've all come to London because whoever was in the old empire, what was the city they heard of? London town. Well, you belong to India, you belong to Odisha, and you belong to the UK, to London, the city of dreams. I'm sure you would like many dreams and everyone is grateful to you, doctors, to you in all kinds of professions here. A distinguished gentleman is looking at his watch. I've exceeded my time, I'm sure, by a minute. After मुझे क्षमा करो, माफ़ी मांगते हैं, समझौते के ज़्यादा वक़्त कौन ज़्यादा मुझे क्षमा करो, माँ माने, भाई माने, धोनी माने, पिल्ला माने, शिव माने, बंधु माने, आप मानो तो समस्तों को बहुत नमस्कार और धन्यवाद, बंदे ओडिशा, धन्यवाद बंदे ओडिशा
Well, relax, may I sit down? Only 3 questions after that. Sure. You then I'm afraid I'll have to chat with my host for a minute and I have to run to another appointment. I'm here for work for Odisha.
Okay, I must thank to Mr. Naveen Pattnaik, our Chief Minister, the most honorable Chief Minister, and he has done so many works, you all know now. But I will give you only 5 minutes to put any question you have, or everyone only 1 minute.
Then I have to chat about.
Yeah, Mr. Naveen Pattnaik.
Hold on, let the lady speak first.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Ladies
Have
first,
you learned
always.
that in UK?
Thank you. My name is Dr. Shabita Dash. I'm a consultant in the British NHS. My Cuttack is my hometown, although I was born in Jagatsinghpur. You touched on everything. I think practically everything. But one thing I would like to ask you, as you rightly said that we do take pride in our home state Odisha, which is so beautiful, so natural. No different, I think, if you think about God's own country, Kerala. Why isn't the ecotourism promoted by your government? Like making Konarak, Chilika, Gopalpur as world's favorite destinations.
Oh, that's a different topic. I'm going to say
It's a very important question. It's a constructive question. Okay, not 3 questions, 4 questions. And Ma Mane first. Ma Mane get 2 and Bhai Mane get 2. Ma Mane. Again, let me tell you very quickly. Of course, Kerala is very beautiful. I've been to Kerala. It's a wonderful country. It is, as the ad of theirs says, God's own country. Ours is scenic, serene, sublime. Of course, we have the great Sri Mandir of our Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. We have the World Heritage and great Sun Temple of Konark. We have Chilka, the greatest brackish water lake in Asia. We have Kanika, with the longest crocodile in Asia. We have the olive ridley turtles laying their eggs. We have great temples. We have great forests. We have great tribal culture. We have great Jagannath culture. We have a great dance form, the Odissi. We have a microcosm of India. We have mountains, we have great rivers. We are a coastal state which has almost 500 kilometers coastline. Certain sites, it's
Shabita Dash.
Mrs. Das, certain areas have been publicized, have been promoted. They have adequate hotel accommodation. we are starting that, but in a sensitive way. We don't want to just go in dhar and disturb our tribal people. That's the last thing we would like to do. Our primitive tribes or any of our tribes should not, it's all, we have certain rules about that, as we should. That culture ought not to be disturbed. It's a very precious culture. They have rights. But on the coastal side, the other side, Konark will be civilized way. The temple city of Bhubaneswar is now being restored to where what it is Musagar Lake. I wish I had brought those brochures. I'll send them to Dr. Ms. Mishra. Will please correct some of the things that I'll send her. I'll send it to Mrs. Bhatt. I'll send certain things about the tribal museum, about the beautiful gardens at Bindusagar, looking onto Lingaraj. Very, very beautiful things. We are evolving it gently, but once it's done, that treasure house which is Odisha for tourism is going to stun everyone. Not another question. You young lady, please come and take the mic.